Welcome, everyone, to our March celebration of all things women empowerment, extending International Women's Day into International Women's Month, as so it should be. We have an incredible guest with us today, Powerful Women Today mentor expert, Ian Price. Ian is a profit first specialist and the founder of Moxie Bookkeeping and Coaching. Now, let's get to it.
Empowering women on a global scale. Welcome to Powerful Women Today with Carolina Billings. Powerful Women Today is on a mission of inclusion, rewriting his story to include her story, and empowering, raising, and amplifying women's voices with professional speaking, publishing, original podcasting, and web TV. And now here's your host, the founder of Powerful Women Today, Carolina Billings.
Welcome, Ian. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
I have
having
to
me.
tell you, you are one of my absolute favorite pioneers in the field of financial services. You are actually what the world needs for every financial consultant and advisor and mentor to become. So pay attention, all of you. As the founder of Moxie Bookkeeping and Coaching, I have to say, it is the first time I've seen those two combined. So we're going to start by asking, how do you empower women, and what is the primary problem that made you identify the link between coaching and financial services?
Well, I think it's no secret that a lot of us come to life and especially to business, which tends to magnify little things into big things, with money baggage, right? Whatever that is,
Mhm.
very few of us escape very sort of calcified ways of thinking around how money should work and what success should look like. And we all know how we all feel about shoulds. So, so for me, a lot of it sort of grew out naturally of what I needed, right? So
Mhm.
I empower women through financial education, specifically
Love it.
around business bookkeeping as well as money mindset and cash management. And again, that came directly out of not only the needs that I saw from my small business clients, but out of my own experience as well.
Absolutely. And you know what is so interesting, because as a former CFO, CHRO, I worked that intersectionality of finance with, the coaching of leadership in behavior modification. But that is a luxury that usually it is bigger organizations that have all the different skill sets in-house get to enjoy, especially for the leadership, for the founders, for the CEOs. So when you and I first met, it was like the name alone, love Moxie, and then it was like business and coaching. This is exactly the three things that women need. Right. And so tell me about, you are a profit first specialist, which is another thing we bonded, because it's that whole relationship between women, money, and profits. Right. And
Yeah.
if I hear one more, this is a warning to the world, woman about to snap. If I hear one more woman entrepreneur to say it's not about the money, then you know what? Don't be an entrepreneur. Be a volunteer. If it's not about the money, do it for free. Right? So tell me about that. What is Profit First? And I know you are extremely passionate and proficient about it. So
I
tell
am.
me what connected you to it.
So I've been a bookkeeper since the mid 90s. So a lot longer than I like to think. And again, the sort of the stages of bookkeeping, which I did over a longer period of time, and I think small business owners come to very quickly, is uh, I was told I need to get my books in order. Now they're in order. Now what? What do I do about them?
Mhm.
And that what do I do question, which fundamentally I think comes back to, am I okay today? And am I going to be okay tomorrow? Or do I need to worry as a business owner? we traditionally ask our bookkeepers and our accountants that question because, as you rightly point out, most small businesses don't have the financial resources to get a $5,000 a month CFO who's going to be talking strategy that's not really relevant to them at that level anyways.
Mhm.
So I always sort of don't like questions that I can't answer. So I began to pursue this, and that was what led me into business coaching first. But even that, there was still this gap between now that my books are perfect and before I do my taxes, how do I know what I can afford? How do I know if I'm okay? And Profit First, the book by Mike Michalowicz, was actually recommended to me by two different clients. And that was when I was like, oh, this is something I have to pay attention to. And when I read the book, I have to admit, my first reaction was, well, that's dumb. Why don't you just look at your reports? That was the complete bookkeeper brain talking. And it wasn't until I was like, oh yeah, nobody enjoys that level of detail in their books but me. That's why I'm a bookkeeper. That suddenly, like, the magic of this appeared, and the fact that it's such a simple system that it really comes down to keeping an eye on, are you making your sales targets and what's your bank balance, that people who don't like math, who are allergic to spreadsheets, or just don't have the time to spend on this stuff because they,
Mhm.
they know their value is in client relationships and client, relationship building and sales, et cetera. This gives them that easy information, at a glance clarity, I like to say, to know if you're okay right now and to know that you'll be okay tomorrow, or if you need to start taking action before it becomes an emergency.
As a former accountant, as a recovering accountant, first of all, I want to clarify something for the world. You know, there's not a great understanding about the difference between a bookkeeper and an accountant. And I
Absolutely.
have to tell you, and I love the world. I love all professionals. I love passionate professionals, no matter what you do. But it's a little bit of the same if we were to make a comparison between nurses and doctors. The nurses are there every day, every step of the way, where the doctor comes in, not to belittle their 200 years of education, but they kind of come in at the end, right? It's like, okay, what's going on? I'm here 5 minutes, out I go. And the nurses are there every single day. It's the same with bookkeeping. The bookkeeper is the person that is really nurturing your books. Is the person that is, that knows intimately every transaction. Where the accountant may come, at year end or audit or, taxes, and just at the end, right? Especially for small to mid-size organizations that cannot, as you said, it's not feasible to hire, a full out accountant or CFO for every single month transaction. So having a good relationship with a solid bookkeeper is worth its weight in gold, for starters. And to have that bookkeeper have the skill set to help you with executive coaching in business behavior modification in mindset is going to be the new gold standard. And we just happen to have one of the pioneers right here with us. And back to Profit First. One of the things as an accountant that really, when I was reading the book, and it was recommended to me by as somebody who does who's a really pillar of the community in the Eastern GTA, and she does taxes, whatever, right? And she just thought it was brilliant, and I'm like, okay, I have to tell you, it was like the first and last book I've ever read about accounting or bookkeeping. But what I liked
Not the
about it,
last.
not the last, up until then. We are literally writing the book about anyway, so more of that in a few seconds. But what I really like about it is that it told you to rethink the accounting equation, where most people think, revenue less expenses equal profit. Um, Profit First says revenue less profit equal expenses. So profit, it has to be intentional. You need to decide how much money you need to clear out of these transactions and have the discipline to match the expenses accordingly. And that's one of the key foundations of Powerful Women Today, that we leverage the aggregate. That's why we come together as a consortium of women business owners, and then we share expenses, right? And we are able to do incredible things that normally, if we each tried to do it on our own, would be too time consuming, project management would be crazy, and the expenses would be way too high. So I turn to you. You're one of our, incredible, active, passionate, committed thought leader and business influencer within Powerful Women Today. What do you enjoy about it? And what would you recommend women? It doesn't have to be Powerful Women Today. It can be any group of like-minded women that help you excel. But what do you resonate? What resonates about it with you?
I mean, absolutely. It is a unique community in that this is the most action-oriented community I've ever been in. I have been in many high-level paid, networking groups, essentially, because that's all they were. They were just networking. And there was no structure or guidance or accountability. There were very few opportunities for suggested, paths to getting something done. And that was the thing that struck me the most about Powerful Women Today was the moment I think even before I joined, it was like, here are all of the opportunities that we can work with you on, depending on what it is you want to pursue. And so it feels far more like a working group that has these fantastic networks in it, rather than just a group of fantastic women who like, it's on our own. Yeah, it's up to us to be like, of the 350 members that are on the Zoom today, who should I talk to and who did I talk to last time? So I think that is just super valuable.
Yeah, and I think I keep comparing it to a gym, right? Joining an organization is easy to join and you kind of forget about it. And, you're all happy about it at the beginning. And then, it kind of like fades into the background. And then people wonder, and not just with Powerful Women Today, but with any organization, it's not working. It doesn't work. It's not working for me. It's the equivalent of joining a gym, not going and expecting to get fit and lose weight.
Or worse, going and wandering around and not being sure how to use any of the equipment, right? So you just get on the treadmill for 20 minutes and get bored.
That's right.
That's what most networking groups feel like. I'm on a treadmill. Here I am.
That is brilliant. So without further ado, today was an intro session to the incredible visibility summits that are happening throughout March. We're actually going to spend 30 days of empowerment, action, and courage. And Ian is one of our co-authors of our upcoming book anthology, 30 Days to Courage. So expect to hear and see and get to know one of the pioneers of executive coaching and financial literacy. One of the best that I've come across. And I know many, many people in the financial industry. So thank you everyone for joining us. Register using the link in the comment and let's get busy succeeding. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Empowering women on a global scale. This has been Powerful Women Today with Carolina Billings. To learn more about how you can join and transform your life and the lives of women everywhere with professional speaking, publishing, podcasting, and web TV, visit powerfulwomentoday.com. Remember to subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you like to listen and watch your podcasts.